Here's a little bit about TC on sax. He grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. Started out, you know, as a typical young guy trying to figure out what to do. I was a single mom, raising me by herself in different elementary school every year, moving around, because where mama went, I went. So that's that era. Moved out to Maryland in junior high. Went to John Hanson, got involved with some sports, ran track, played football at Oxon Hill Boys Club. Oh, I was a star. I got trophies for that, but you gotta look that one up. From there, we went to Friendly High School. And this was an interesting era in my life because my mom, being a single mom, she had to figure out what to do with this kid that was growing up to be a man or a young man at that time. So what I did was audition for a play. I'll never forget it. I was like this goofy kid on stage in this play called Grease. I was Dodie, right? And my teacher at the time, Mr. Stringer, said, hey, this guy's got some talent. But at the same time, my mom was trying to figure out why is he getting in so much trouble. So it was a little weird. So she transferred me from there. We moved back into DC, and I went to I auditioned for Duke Ellington School of the Arts up in Northwest, and that's a really cool space, that building, because at the time when I was going to Duke Ellington, it didn't have like the beautiful auditorium and things of that nature, and it was basically the urban DC version of Fame, because back when I was coming up, Fame was like one of the popular shows that was a little older, but it was popular still. So I auditioned to go to Duke Ellington, and it was a weird time in my life because at that point, having been in the play at Friendly, and I actually did another play at Shade School Open Space where I had a cool speaking part, and I was singing like, bills, bills, bills. Anyways, we're not gonna go through that. Auditioned at Duke Ellington. It was a funny story because, and when you go to Duke Ellington to audition, it's like a whole 8-hour day just for the audition. You gotta go in this line, get in that line, get in all the lines. So I got in all the lines, and it was time for me to go and pick the department at Ellington that I wanted to be in, because they concentrate on all the realms of art, from painting to photography to music to theater and all these things. Well, anyways, I had prepared this cool poem by Langston Hughes, right? And I said, I want to go and I want to be in the theater department at Duke Ellington. By the time you get to the space where you're actually in front of the crew of teachers and counselors to allow you into your department that you're auditioning for, it's at the end of the day. And I was at the end of the day, and this lady was behind the piano. She said, okay, have you prepared what have you prepared for me? And I said, I'm gonna do I Too Eat in the Kitchen by Langston Hughes. She said, Thomas, you are in the music department. I said, oh, I wanted to be in the theater department. She said, well, you'd have to start over, and I'm afraid you're gonna have to come back another day and start all over the process. Do you have time to come another day? I didn't have time because I caught the bus. I caught the 32 all the way up there. Anyways, long story short, she said, well, do you know how to sing? I said, I can carry a tune. So she started playing the Star Spangled Banner. And by the time I got to Oh Say Can You See, she stopped, you're in. So that was my audition piece. I had a great set of friends that I became friends with at Duke Ellington. We all supported each other. And my best friend at the time was a masterful keyboard player. His name was Keith Lee. And by the time we got to our junior and senior year, Keith and I ended up representing what I'm going to call the building funds of Duke Ellington as you see it right now. Because during Black History Month, we would find ourselves at Department of Energy and all these other spaces performing, as at their programs, We would also take the time out to audition for competitions throughout the city. And I got the first inkling that I had something magical when I won like this DC talent search, where the last show was at the Constitution Hall, and I got the top trophy. They say, the winner, TC, Thomas Clark. And it was a weird feeling, but I have to thank, all of the people and the friends who've inspired me throughout my school years. Noble Jolly taught me, the late Noble Jolly taught me theory. He made me sit down and figure out what FAC is and what EF, every good boy does fine. He made me figure all these things out, and I had to do it in such a way to where I can only get better, The first time I picked up a sax was at church, right? So between picking up the sax and playing, behind the mass choir, you can hide your notes behind the mass choir because, black church has got all great voices. So I just blended into the ones that wasn't so great. And eventually I became great, just like the greatest voices in the church. And that's where I learned my feel, my technique, my tone, and how to express at church. And from there, again, my love for music just kept growing and growing and growing. And here I am now, right? Because when I play for people, I often build off of their energy, right? So when I'm playing the melodies of life, that's exactly what it is. I'm playing the melodies of life. And sometimes I'll never play something the same way. I don't think I can, actually. I'm always inflecting and bending and moving based on, again, all of my experience in life and all of the things that I can read in your eyes and your body language when I'm playing in front of you. And that energy transfers into what you're hearing. So music is definitely a language of its own, but it's a unified language. Everybody who understands, listens, and likes music has a favorite song. And 9 out of 10, that song that they like relates to them as a person. So all I do is try to relate to people through the melodies that I play. That's it.